Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Andrea at CrossTalk, and you might notice that I am by myself tonight. This is 6 p.m. Japan time, and we always do our live streaming on Thursday evening. Usually it's myself and Tomoya, but today I'm by myself because Tomoya is in Osaka. He went to the World Expo, and so I decided to keep our schedule, to maintain our schedule, and I told him, okay, I will do the live stream by myself. So I am by myself tonight. Right now, there are no viewers, and that's okay. So I'll just keep talking because people can go back and watch this video later. So I'll keep talking, but please feel free to send any questions or comments my way. Tonight I'm by myself. So if you don't send a question or a comment, I'm just talking by myself. That's okay too. It's 6 p.m. I'm actually very hungry, so I'm having a snack. I'm having tea, hot tea, because it's a little bit cool tonight. It's a little bit cooler. And when the weather gets cool, one of my guilty pleasures that I like to do is I love hot drinks. I love hot coffee, hot tea, anything like a latte or a cappuccino, hot chocolate. I love all of these hot drinks. So tonight I'm having a hot chai because autumn is almost here. So I like to have hot drinks. And I'm also having a snack because I'm very hungry right now. So I have been eating these snacks. And actually, this was a souvenir. This was an omiyage from one of my students. And she went to Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan. And I cannot read this because it's not English. But I think this is the omiyage from Turkmenistan. And you can see the back of the package. At first, it looks like English, but it's not actually English. It's actually maybe Kirill. It's not English. So I cannot read where these snacks are from. Titu-san, konbanwa. So anyway, the package is quite nice looking. And I thought these would be really delicious because it's a picture of, steak with onions, and it says kebab right here. But actually, these snacks looks like a rusk, a little piece of bread that has seasoning. The meat and the onion is okay, but it has a very fake flavor. It has a very chemical flavor, or like the oil is not very good. So actually it doesn't taste very good, but it's a nice idea. I love getting omiyage or gifts. There's a lot in here, and I probably won't eat anymore because actually they're not very good. It tastes very chemical flavor. It's not a natural flavor. But again, it's a very nice gift. And a lot of our students have traveled recently. This lady went to Uzbekistan and Tajikistan. I think this is from Tajikistan. She said it was a very unique experience. We have other people going to other places. I'll be going to Korea in a few months. I have a question. And where is Tomoya? Actually, Tomoya is in Osaka. So if there's anyone tonight, if you're at the World Expo, please look for Tomoya. He's there. And I'm gonna invade his privacy. He is at the Osaka Expo. This was earlier this afternoon. He went to see the Gundam figure. So if you see Tomoya at Expo, please say hi. Say hi, I'm a fan of the podcast. You can have a meeting, a fan meeting in Osaka. He should be home in a few hours, but I will be finished and I'll go back home before I meet him. So I will not meet him today, unfortunately. He seems to be busy. He didn't text me very much today. He just said it's hot in Osaka. It's hot and humid, and they were not able to make any reservations to see any of the pavilions. So how about you guys? Has anyone been to the World Expo? Has anyone been to Banpaku yet? I went to Banpaku. I went to World Expo actually back in June, just before the rainy season started. Just before the rainy season started, my sister came to Japan with her family, and I met with my sister, and we decided to go to Banpaku together. So let's see if I can find a picture of that time. I really had a good time. It wasn't so hot back in June. It was hot, but it wasn't really, really horrible. Did I take a picture with my sister? I did. I'll just show you everybody's picture. This is my sister and her family. My sister is here in the back. You can't really see, so I'll get a better picture of her in a minute. We do not look alike. We do not look anything alike. But we both have a similar sense of humor, so we do get along very well, actually. We went back in June. We also could not reserve any of the pavilions. We were only able to line up and get into Philippines, which was really nice. The Philippines pavilion was lovely. We got into South Korea because I wanted to go, and that was also good. And we got into China, which was very educational. And we got into the jellyfish pavilion at night because it was just before closing and there was no big line. But all of them were actually very nice. I don't have a good picture with my sister. I have a lot of pictures of my sister's daughters, though. Mostly at the World Expo, we just enjoyed walking around, looking at the great architecture, looking at the really unique building designs, and also the wooden ring that goes all the way around the park was really, really amazing. Oh, here's a picture. This is my sister in the yellow blouse, and I'm next to her in the middle. And let's see, that's her husband next to her on, let's see if I can point, on this side, on the back side. That's her husband, my sister, me, the husband's older sister, and the husband's older brother. So a lot of their family came over to Japan, and this is not the first time. They've all been to Japan many times before, but we had a great time. I'm a little bit sad because I wanted to go to the World Expo one more time. And I thought I could, but I work pretty much every day. I don't really take many days off. The next day off I have is next week on Tuesday, the 23rd. Okay, so our Wi-Fi should be connected. I reconnected. I'm sorry that the screen was freezing up. I don't know if it's a problem with my computer or with this area. Some large companies around us, and we notice sometimes around evening the Wi-Fi is very slow, and probably everyone's trying to access the service around here at the same time, so it gets a little bit slow sometimes. Sorry about that. Okay. Super Pipi says, I wish I could visit Uzbekistan. Ooh, you probably could. You probably visit Uzbekistan if you wanted to. I think my student said it's a difficult country to visit. She needed to... It's kind of like North Korea, actually. You can't just go whenever you want. You have to apply, and you have to be with a guide all of the time. You can't just go freely. And so she did make a plan, and you have to show where you're staying every day, like what hotel, where you're going to be, who your guide is at the time. So it's not like a country you can visit freely. But you can go. It's not possible. It's just a little far away from Japan, and it does take a little bit of effort to. So yeah, you could go to Uzbekistan, actually. Speaking of travel, because I'm a foreigner, a lot of foreigners who are living in Japan love traveling. And I kind of always assumed that I liked traveling, and I do, but actually I don't travel very much. And once you're in a country or once you're in a place, I love being in a new place, and I love learning about new cultures and history and people, and I absolutely love trying new food. But getting there, the process of getting there, I don't love. I don't love it at all. In fact, I don't like airplanes. I tend to get air or motion sickness. So riding buses and ferries and airplanes makes me feel very sick. So I don't love the process of getting to someplace. But I kind of have a mental list. If I had a chance, which countries would I love to visit? And right now, number one, want to go to country would be New Zealand. I want to go to New Zealand and also Vietnam. Why New Zealand? I think it's a beautiful country. It looks really green, really lush. I like outdoor activities like hiking and just looking at scenery, taking photos. Plus, it's a good of sea plus island. And also, I think the food would be very, very good. So I would love to visit New Zealand. My other top country is Vietnam. And there's two reasons for that. One reason is the food. I love Vietnamese food. It's really amazing. It's not spicy, but it has a lot of flavor. And it's very healthy. It's a lot of herbs and vegetables and rice noodles. And it's very fresh and refreshing. Lots of fresh fruits also. So I love Vietnamese food. The other reason I want to visit Vietnam is because when I was in high school in America, one of my best friends was from Vietnam. She is from Vietnam. And at the time, we were young. I didn't know much about Vietnam, but her family came from Vietnam after or during the Vietnam War. And they were sponsored, or they had some assist in immigrating and settling to America. And she was just a beautiful person, inside and out. She's very pretty, but also just a really lovely personality. And I thought at the time, okay, if I ever have a chance, I would love to visit her country, where she came from, where her family came from. So that's why Vietnam is high on my list. Where else? I would also visit Cuba. Cuba is also high on my list because the culture looks interesting, the history looks interesting, and the people look really interesting and nice, and the food looks amazing too. Where else? Also, maybe after the Ukraine war finishes, I would like to visit Eastern Europe, like maybe Poland or Czechoslovakia. You know, these sorts of Eastern European countries, but I don't know if that's going to be possible because the war is going on so long. Okay, I have a question from T2-san. By the way, what brought you to Japan? Oh, good question. There are a couple reasons why I came to Japan, actually. The first reason is when I was in junior high school in America, I found out that my grandfather, who I had never met, I'd never met my grandfather. This is my father's father. I'd never met my father's father. I found out that my grandfather was actually Nikkei American. So his parents had immigrated from Japan to America. And my grandfather was born and raised in America. So he's American, but his DNA, his physical makeup is Japanese. And so actually my father is Japanese. And so we found this out like when I was probably 13, 14-ish. And I was curious about that because Americans are all mixed. Like there are hardly any pure Americans. Unless you're like Native American 100%, there's very few pure American people. Most of us have some kind of mixed ancestry. So I knew that my ancestry had some European, like Scottish and Welsh and German, but I didn't know about, and some Native American, but I didn't know the Japanese. So I heard this for the first time. Oh, my grandfather was Nikkeijin. And then I started reading books about Japan, and I became interested in Japan, and I decided I wanted to study Japanese. But at that time, this was, back in the late 1980s, there was no place in my hometown really to study Japanese or around there. There are very, very few, if any, Japanese people in my hometown. So it was very hard, very impossible to study Japanese. So when I got into university, my university had Japanese lessons. And I thought, okay, finally, this is my chance. So I took 2 years of Japanese, and that's a very small university. So there was only one professor teaching Japanese. She was American. She had, like me, she'd lived in Japan for a few years, and then she went back to America and started teaching Japanese in America. So I could only study maximum of 2 years. They didn't have any more classes in Japanese language. And so then when I went to graduate school, Daigaku-in, I could also study Japanese again. And that's what I chose to study, is Japanese language and also culture. And during that time, I studied 2 more years of Japanese at Daigaku-in at graduate school. And one of my professors, she told me, she said, all of the other students, everyone else has traveled to Japan. Only one, Andrea, you are the only one who has never been to Japan. So I encourage you, you should go to Japan and study. So she kind of pressured me to join a study abroad program. And I did. I applied and I got accepted, and I studied for about 10 months in Fukuoka at Fukuoka Daigaku. And that program was like high intensity. It was like very intense lessons. we studied only in Japanese, no English whatsoever. None of our teachers spoke any English. We studied every day from about 8:30 in the morning until 4:30 in the afternoon, all in Japanese, and every day for 10 months. Still, I could understand a little bit. I could read some kanji, but I could not speak Fukuoka Ben. I could not understand Ben. So, it took me a long time to actually learn Japanese to the level where I could speak it. After I studied in Fukuoka, I had to go to America. I went back. I finished studying at graduate school, and then started working. I got a job at a big company that was selling and managing mutual funds. Now, I have no background in economics or finances or business. I'm strictly a language student. I'm not interested in fund or investing or anything, but they needed people. And so they hired me to be kind of like a customer service rep, basically. So at that time, again, this is, back in the early 1990s, Windows had just come out. Windows was a very new thing. Like, no one had Windows yet. This company had Windows, and that was their big point, was like, we have Windows. We will teach you how to use Windows. So I was using Windows to write letters and deal with customers for this mutual fund company. It was an okay job. It was actually fine. I didn't hate it. It was okay. But my true heart was not in mutual funds. My true heart was in studying Japanese. So then I applied to come to teach in Japan because I wasn't a student anymore and I needed to work. So I applied to be a teacher, and I did get accepted, and I was randomly put to work in Okayama Prefecture, not Okayama City. A very, very, very tiny town called Funaocho. Funaocho is the place where shine muscat and muscat grapes are grown. Muscat of Alexandria is in the town that grows muscat grapes. And I stayed there for 3 years, and then I ended up moving cities, and I got a job in Kurashiki City, and I stayed there for 3 years too. And then, stayed in Okayama. So that's a very long story about why I came to Japan. Basically, the short answer is to study Japanese. So the whole time I was a teacher here, when I was teaching, I still could only speak like really basic Japanese. I couldn't speak very advanced, and I had a hard time having long conversations. And so I made it a priority to always study on the weekends. We could get free tutors or free classes on Saturday mornings. So I always went to classes on mornings. I studied by myself at night in my apartment. And again, this is back in the 1990s, like the mid 1990s. Now, there was internet, but I didn't have a computer. It was still a very new thing. So we were still studying with textbooks. And I would just watch TV, watch Japanese like variety shows, and try to pick up like listening and imitate the announcers. Like if they said, sugoi na, I would imitate, sugoi na. So just kind of shadowing and imitating what the announcers were doing. And kind of trying to like polish my listening and also kind of understand like when to use what phrases or like what kind of context you could say, sugoi na, when to use that, like situations or with what kind of people. So actually, like for me too, watching TV, like shadow imitating people's speech. So that was how I basically polished my listening and like my more casual Japanese. But also, I tried to not make many friends who spoke English. I tried to make friends that only spoke Japanese so that I could practice my listening and my speaking. So for you guys too, like you guys are learning English, if you can, I would encourage you to, not like stalk a gaijin, not stalk a foreigner, but like try to join a group or an English cafe or like a meetup that does English, and try to like only speak English. Try to, if you can, like find new younger teachers beginning Japanese, so that you're forced to speak in English, and that will really improve your listening and speaking. Also, if you have a chance, I don't know how old everyone is. Like I'm too old, obviously, but if you have a chance and you can do something like working holiday or study abroad. Study abroad is, all ages. I would encourage you guys to do that too. Working holiday from Japan, I think you only have a choice of Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, I think. And you have to apply and get accepted before you're 30 years old. If you are over 30 years old, you could just apply to go to a language school in any country. America has language schools that you can apply to. Canada, if you don't want to spend a lot of money, Cebu in the Philippines has some very good programs for Japanese people who want to learn English. And the teachers are very good. So I do recommend going to the Philippines. Ooh, another question. What is your favorite Japanese food? That's a really hard question. I really love ebi fry and tempura donburi, right? I love donburis. I love tempura. But I'm not that young anymore, and so eating oily food kind of upsets my stomach sometimes. I can't eat like a lot of tempura, and I can't eat a lot of fried foods anymore. Sushi is always a favorite with all of us Gaikokujin people. I love sushi. Everyone loves sushi, I think. I hope. What else? Like, there's nothing that I really hate that's like a main cuisine. I thought that I did not like Nihon soba, but actually I do. I really like Nihon soba now, and I thought I did not like udon. But after I moved to Okayama, Okayama is next to Kagawa, and a lot of people from Kagawa would come over they would come over on ferry to work in the jeans factories in southern Okayama. And they brought the culture of Sanuki udon. So Sanuki udon is amazing. If you have not tried Sanuki udon, please try it. It's udon, but it's like a hard texture. It's very chewy, and it has a nice al dente texture. So I do love Sanuki udon and Nihon soba. How about you guys? What is your favorite foods? Japanese food is generally very highly regarded. It's very popular in America and Europe now, especially ramen. In Japan, you can get a really nice ramen. The prices are going up now, but you can get a good ramen for 700, 800, 900 yen of ramen. Yeah, ramen's very good. In America, a good bowl of ramen easily 2,000 yen. High places 2,500 yen, 3,000 yen. It's very expensive. Sushi is also very expensive. Yeah, there's just so many good Japanese foods. I think one interesting difference between, like, for example, American food and Japanese food is Japanese food uses a lot of different kinds of ingredients. And there's a huge variety, especially like seafood and vegetables and what is edible, what is able to be eaten. Japanese food uses a lot of different kinds of ingredients, and I don't think American food does. We have a very limited range of ingredients, actually, so it's actually pretty predictable. One more difference, pardon me, I'm having a frog in my throat. If you don't know that expression, frog in your throat, it means you have like a scratchy point in your throat, right? Sorry, I'm having it tonight. Another thing with Japanese food that's really great is freshness. Japanese vegetables and fruit and seafood are super, super fresh. And eggs, everything is so fresh here. If you go to any supermarket in Japan, even in the middle of the city, the food is fresh. If you go to a supermarket in America, the vegetables are usually, shipped in from somewhere that's very far away, and it's usually not that fresh. So we grow, America's a huge country. It's very big, right? Most of our vegetables are grown either in California, which is on the West Coast, or in Mexico. We import a lot from Mexico, actually. And then certain things like apples only come from Washington, and oranges come from California and Florida only. The citrus like lemons and limes only come from Florida and California. So like my hometown, here's California and here's Florida. My hometown is in the middle. It's very far away from both of these places. So they have to bring the vegetables and fruit from very far away, and it's usually not very fresh. So it's very nice to see, that Japan puts a high value on freshness. And there's a lot of local markets here too. So like in America, if you want to have like really fresh vegetables, a lot of people will go to the farmers markets and buy vegetables, directly from the farmers. Okay, we have another question from D. Inzon. How about fast food like a Moss Burger? I love Moss Burger, actually. Yeah, Japanese fast food is very good. It's usually quite fresh too. Like I said, I love a Moss Burger. They're really good. McDonald's in Japan is actually better than McDonald's in America. It's fresher, and it's not like when you get a burger in America, it's crushed. The bread looks like it's been run over by a truck. It doesn't look fresh. It doesn't look appealing. But even McDonald's in Japan is better than American. The other Japanese fast food that I think is really great is Yoshinoya, Matsuya, and Sukiya. This kind of gyudon, right? These gyudon shops are really good. I know it's like pre-made and packaged. It's not made on site, but they're so cheap. They're so cheap, and it's actually not too unhealthy. It's pretty reasonable. In America, we do have a lot of chain shops. We have a lot of like family restaurants and chain restaurants. But when I lived in America, I didn't eat a lot of fast food. We don't eat out very much in my family. It's expensive to eat out in America. We didn't eat out very much. Mostly we cooked at home. We would eat out like maybe once a month, maybe, but usually not. Now I eat out more in Japan. I usually eat lunch out. I grab a bento or grab some sandwiches from the bakery or get something from the convenience store. So I eat out more in Japan, and it's much cheaper. It's very expensive to eat in America. And so recently there are a lot of tourists in Japan, and almost all of the Americans and Europeans are saying it's so cheap. The food here is so cheap, and it's so fresh and so good. So yeah, Japanese food is very highly regarded. The reputation is very good. I don't know. Do you guys like fast food? Do you eat at Moss Burgers or McDonald's often? For me, I don't go to McDonald's often just because I'm trying to lose weight. I need to lose a little bit of weight. I'm on a diet. But also, it's really salty. Whenever I eat McDonald's, it's so salty, and I'm like really, really thirsty. I want to drink a lot of water. And like the next day, I'm not hungry. It's like too salty and kind of too oily. Moss Burger's a little bit lighter. The only American hamburgers I really like are Burger King. If there's a Burger King in the area where you are, I recommend Burger King. And the reason they're good is because they cook meat over a charcoal grill or over a grill. So the oil, the grease falls down away from the meat. So it's a little bit healthier. Also Wendy's. Wendy's used to be in Okayama where I am, but not anymore. They went out of business. Wendy's is okay too. We do have a lot of Mexican food in America, and that's amazing. We have fast food Mexican shops. Some of them are good and some are not, but the authentic Mexican restaurants are just so much better. I wouldn't waste my money on fast food Mexican. Just go to a real Mexican shop and get a much better meal. Oh, Pie and Peace-san, good evening. Have you caught a cold? No, I'm just like, my throat is bad today. I don't know why. Just since maybe I'm talking too much because Tomoya's not here. So I'm just feeling like my throat's a little bit scratchy, but I don't have a cold. I'm actually very healthy. Sometimes I do have throat issues. It's probably just because I've been talking to students all day. Thank you very much for the nice message, though. I heard that coronavirus and influenza are starting to spread around a bit recently. Hope everyone is keeping healthy and not getting sick. I think it's around the season. Maybe it's a bit early yet, but we'll start to see people wearing masks, like face masks, around more when the weather starts to get a little bit cool. People start getting colds and also allergies, seasonal allergies like hay fever. People will start wearing masks to prevent hay fever. I don't tend to like wearing a mask. I will wear a mask if I have to, but I really don't like them. So, oh, we have some more food questions. Dian-san, what is your favorite fast food chain in the world? That's a difficult question. My favorite fast food chain in the world. Ooh, I would have to say, depends on the food, but for hamburgers, I would have to say Burger King. Sushi, I would have to say, is Sushi Maru a chain? I like Sushi Maru. What else is a chain? That's a difficult question. I don't eat a lot of fast food these days. I take local bakeries or local little restaurants and shops more than fast food. Give me some ideas. I forgot what there is. Okay, we have another question from Mario Frat. Is that how I say that? Mario Frat-san. Which do you like better? Kanto style or Kansai style unaju? I don't know the difference. What is the difference? I've only had unaju in Fukuoka at, where was I? Where did we eat it in Fukuoka? Let me check my Google map. What's in Fukuoka? Where are we in Fukuoka? Yanagawa. In Yanagawa, I had unaju in Yanagawa in Fukuoka. And I've only had it in Okayama. And they were using Kojima 1, which is, our local bay here. Unagi from Kojima, which is like a natural. I don't know if it's Kansai or Kanto. I don't know the difference. I do like unagi though. It's a very expensive food here though. Unaju, if we go to a proper restaurant, that's a chain restaurant, it's about like 5,000 yen for lunch. So it needs to be like a special occasion or like someone's birthday if we're going for proper unaju. There is a chain, I think, in the shopping center. I think it's from Nagawa. And they have unaju for, I forgot, maybe like 2,100 yen, 2,500 yen. And it's pretty good. But I guess that would be Kyushu style or Kansai style. I don't know. Unaju, like unagi, actually isn't very popular in Okayama. I think because we just don't have a lot of unagi here naturally. And so it tends to be too expensive for most people to eat. That being said, it's getting to be a little more popular, and there are a few restaurants that have popped up that specialize in unaju, but I haven't been to them yet, so we'll see. If someone wants to go for their birthday, I would go. Yeah. Which do you recommend? Please tell me, which do you recommend, Kansai style or Kansai? Okay. Mario Frat says the one that is steamed is Kansai style, and the one that is just baked without steaming is Kansai style. So steamed would probably be softer. I think I like the non-steamed one, but I don't really know the difference. So I don't know what I was eating, to be honest. Okay, Kansai style is recommended. Okay, so if I have a chance, I will try Kansai style then. Thank you very much. That's a good recommendation. Dian-san says, do you like natto? What was your impression? I do like natto, but it took me a long time to get used to it, and there's actually a backstory. So at the time when I first came to Okayama, I was working in public junior high school, two very small schools. As I mentioned, one was in Funaocho, which is where they're growing muscat of Alexandria. And then I went a couple of times to Yorishima-cho. So Yorishima-cho grows oysters and shako. They fish for shako. So at the time, I was a young teacher. I did not really speak Japanese very well. And my supervisor strongly encouraged me, meaning she kind of pressured me, to eat lunch with the students in the classroom. So that meant during my break time, I had to go to the classroom, help my students serve lunch, sit down and eat with them, and then we had to clean up the lunch together. So the homeroom teachers in junior high, and you guys are all Japanese, so you know, you've been to school here. The homeroom teachers encourage the students to eat everything on your tray. I had just come to Japan. I had heard about natto, but I had never tried it. So I, as a teacher, you know, we have to be a role model for the students. And so I knew I could not leave any food on my tray. So even if I don't like it, I eat it. So I had to eat natto because my students were all watching, right? I couldn't leave. So at first, of course, I didn't like it. I thought it was difficult to eat because, you know, it's very stringy with the chopsticks. It's very messy to eat. You know, you get the sticky all over. It's very messy to eat. It didn't especially taste very good, but it wasn't horrible. But I learned to enjoy it. So after eating with my students for, you know, 3 years, I grew to really like natto. And yes, I do like it now. And I understand it's kind of a superfood. It has a lot of nutrients, and also because it's a hakko shokuhin, right? It's a fermented food. It's extremely good for your health, and it does prevent you from getting sick. It like boosts up your immune system. So I actually do like natto, and I don't eat it every day, but I eat it sometimes. Tomoya, who is not here, is Japanese, and he hates natto. He never eats it. So I win, yay. So that was how I became to like natto. And yes, I like natto now. Okay, we have another question from Titu-san. Can you drink kanto udon soup? I can only drink Western Japan type. For me, it's not really the issue of soup. It's the noodles. It has to be a sanuki noodle. Otherwise, I don't like it. I only like sanuki udon. I do not like any other kind of udon. So I'm very picky. I'm very particular about the type of udon I like. Koshi ga nai wa dame. Koshi no aru udon dake wa suki. Soup, anything is okay. The best udon is zaru udon for me. And the reason is because you can really feel the al dente texture. You can feel the hagotai on the zaru udon. I don't know how it is in Kanto, but in this area, like Sanuki area or Chugoku area with Sanuki udon, most of the udon restaurants here are self-serve. So you go into the restaurant. Usually there's a window, and you tell the staff what kind of udon you want. Bukake is popular here. Bukake udon or zaru udon or udon or, you know, whatever. Kabeage is also popular here. Is it? Nabeage. Huh? I forgot the name. Anyway, it's a big kind of nabe with lots of udon in it. I don't ever order that. But then after you get your udon, you can choose what kind of tempura that you like to add on. You can choose what kind of soup or how much soup you want. If it's not bukake, if it's like a soup kind of udon, you can put your own toppings on. So they usually give you a choice of tempura kasu, negi, usually shoga, sometimes wasabi, goma, and you can add on your own topping. And then you can also choose, sometimes they have side dishes. They usually have side dishes like boiled eggs, karage, onigiri. You can add on whatever you want. So the self-service style is really, really popular here in Okayama, and I really love it. Okay, we have another question from Mario Fred. How do you say koshi in English? Maybe chewy texture or something. Actually, we use the Italian word. We say al dente. Al dente is A space dente. T-E. It has an al dente texture. Yeah, you can also say chewy texture. It is very chewy, yeah. And next question, D is on how about umeboshi? Love umeboshi because I love sour things. I love anything umeboshi. I love anything lemon. Anything sour is very good. And especially the umeboshi from Wakayama with I think they're made with honey. So you can, the nice sour, salty umeboshi with a little bit of honey. So it's got the sweet also. So you've got sweet, salty, and sour all in one. They're just perfect. The katsuo are very good. I love umeboshi. Yeah. In the winter, I have really, really bad hiesho. So in the winter, I like to put umeboshi in a cup with a little bit of shochu, hot shochu, and hot water, and kind of mash it up together. Makes a really nice hot alcoholic drink that keeps your body warm. You can also do it with umeshu. So umeshu with hot water, and then smash the ume up. It's really, really nice. Next question, T2-san. How about Japanese men? Yeah, of course, I like Japanese men. Every person, depends on the person, of course. You know, every person has a good quality. So we try to find a good quality in each person. My husband is Japanese, so of course, I like Japanese men. I'm used to living in Japan, so yeah, I think Japanese men are very attractive. I love the dark hair, love the dark eyes, very handsome. And, you know, sons are half Japanese, and I think they're very handsome too. I'm a little bit biased, I admit. Yeah. The good thing about Japanese men is they're very hardworking. They work very hard. I noticed, like with my husband's generation, you know, my husband is very Showa, so he's kind of old-fashioned. But the younger men, like 40 younger, are more progressive, and they really help their wives a lot more. So thank you to younger men for changing the pattern. Ooh, Mia-san, a new listener. What are the good points of Tomoya? I think he is funny. Yeah, he is funny. He is very funny. And actually, you know, Tomoya and I have been friends. We've been very good friends for a long time. I don't know, 7 years or so, 8 years or so. He's actually kind. He has a very kind heart. Like what, you know, everyone, like I get depressed sometimes, or I get upset, or I get sad about something. He always tries to cheer me up and encourage me. He also is very nice. Like when I'm working, I'm usually with students all day long, and I don't really have a lot of break time. So he always makes sure I have water or something to drink. So he's very thoughtful that way. And yeah, Tommy has a lot of good points. He can be very funny. Like we get along pretty well. He'll just say something that is funny, and then we kind of riff back and forth. We kind of go back and forth about the joke. So he gets humor. He understands Western humor, and he actually understands Japanese humor well. So he's a good person to joke with. Okay, another question from D-In-san. What food do you dislike in Japan? There's not a lot of foods I dislike in Japan. I used to drink Nihonshu a lot. I don't drink much anymore. But I don't really like a lot of the otsumami, the sake otsumami, like things like kani no miso, I don't like that, or shiokara, that kind of fish guts or fish parts, I don't like that. But other than that, like most things are fine to eat. Probably all Japanese foods, I think. I haven't found anything that I really cannot eat. Even shiokara, I can eat it. I just don't love it, but I can eat it. T2-san, what is most important to you? For me, what's most important to me in my life, do you mean? I would say enjoying my life, because I gave up a lot to come and live in Japan. You know, at the time I had a boyfriend, I gave up my boyfriend, I gave up my family. You know, I don't see my family much. I gave up living easily in you know, it's easy for me to live in America. I understand the language, I understand the culture. I gave up everything to come and live in Japan, and to be with my husband. So for me, enjoying Japan, because I came here, I want to enjoy Japan. And so not traveling all the time, but when I can, like just enjoying eating out, meeting my friends. If I have a chance to travel somewhere in Japan, to do that. I think this is an amazing country, and I really want to enjoy it as much as I can. So yeah, just enjoying my life and making the most of the time that I have here. Of course, you know, I get sad, I get depressed sometimes, I get discouraged, but I try to kind of reset and pick myself up. But yeah, I enjoy working, like meeting my students. All of my students are amazing people. They're interesting and funny and kind and hardworking, and I appreciate every one of them one-on-one. So just finding something good about each person, and enjoying what I do. Yeah, that's important to me, to enjoy what I do. Well, I'm thankful for you guys. 86 sub-channel says thank you for your videos. As always, thank you very much for listening. And especially, you know, since Tomoya wasn't here, I did not have the confidence. I thought, well, you know, I won't have anything to talk about, and probably no one will be watching. So I'll just like make a little short video and I'll go home. But I appreciate that you guys stuck with us, stuck with me for the whole hour. And I think next week Tomoya should be back. So we'll be back together next week. I'm going to end now, but again, thank you very much for all your questions and comments. And I appreciate you sticking with me. See you guys next week. Bye. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Yoshi-san. See you next week.